Well, hello and welcome to part 3 of the monthly garden tours for August of 2023 in the Bowtie Gardens. I'm Bowtie Dave, and if you've been following along, you know we've had a common theme this month, which seems to be a common theme for some gardeners when you get about this time of year in the northern hemisphere, and that's a little bit of garden burnout and just being overwhelmed by everything in the garden and the overwhelming amount of tasks that face us every time we step out. And I don't have exactly a small garden. Now we'll get on with the garden tour here in just a minute. We're going to start right there with that bed number 1, like we always do. I do these tours in the exact same order every time. However, we are doing something a little different this month, and we're using a map of the property to show you exactly what is where I am on the property. Had some people comment that they thought that my garden was huge, and well, my garden isn't huge. It's 100-foot wide and 106-foot deep, little less than a quarter-acre property, and we are just trying to maximize everything we can from this. I'm sitting here amidst my tomatoes, just being attacked by this one. There we go. All right, so anyway, so this map here, this is actually a map off of Google Maps, and I want to get a better one eventually, but this is what I'm going to use for right now. But it's aerial view of our property, and you can see there's over on one side you can see the magnolias in the backyard, the house in the middle, the front yard, backyard, etc., etc. The problem with the backyard tour is that it's kind of behind the house. In fact, these beds here are back here halfway under the Florida room back here, as you can see outlined right now on this map. And so I'm going to expand just that part of the property map into the corner of this video. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, I think it's going to be into this corner, but this red circle is going to show you exactly where we're at in the garden bed, and kind of give you an idea of where we are and perspective with everything else. So anyway, enough of that. Something new. If you have any thoughts on this, any comments, please let me know in the comments below. If you're just stumbling along finding our channel, please subscribe. We are working on building our community, and subscriptions are the big thing we're trying to collect right now, and it's free. You just have to hit that subscribe button down in the video description, or if you're on a device, there's a subscribe button on your screen somewhere. Just please subscribe to the channel so you'll get notices of future videos. Also, those of you who have subscribed, whether you're subscribed or not, thank you for watching. Watching helps show that these videos are actually have some value for inspiration or hopefully encouragement, because normally I hope to show my video tours that someone might be inspired by something I'm doing, but today it's a little different, because today there's nothing to be inspired with here, with just the overwhelming overgrowth and weeds and everything else that are everywhere out here. It's just been a mess. So maybe it'll help you feel better about a situation that you're in. I know we've traveled a lot this summer. A lot of unplanned trips that were not part of what we were going to do, but it happened. And so things got less cared for than they normally would. And we lost about 7 weeks of productivity out here. We're about to lose another week. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit done before then. Not only that, I got sick, and it's just been, life. It's just life. Bowtie life for here. But Anyway, we talk mostly about life in the garden. So all that being said, we are harvesting stuff. In fact, here's a video of some stuff that I harvested just the other day. I am harvesting out of the garden about every 2 or 3 days. If I wait 3 days, I get about 1.5 pounds of okra. It's about 1/2 pound a day is what I'm coming up with. So I also just edited the second part and noticed I had mosquitoes all over my face, and I'm trying to. It made me itch just watching myself talk. But anyway, there's a lot of mosquitoes out here. I'm not underneath the magnolia tree like I was on the previous part. But anyway, let's just get on with the garden tour and see what is and is not growing. Because there are things that are just not doing well. The heat, the temperatures have been in the 90s. And the uncomfortable thing is, most places in the country, your evenings get down to the 70s or 60s. Our evenings have barely dipped down into the upper 80s. So our temperatures just change a few degrees from day to night. And it's pretty wild because you go not very far away and they get the dips in temperature, 10, 15, 20 miles. They do get evening dips in temperatures, but we are surrounded by the Choctawhatchee Bay on that side and the Gulf of Mexico on that side, and because of 2 large bodies of water surrounding Destin, Florida, the weather here tends to be very moderated. The highs are not so high, but the lows are not so low. So it's just been kind of a difficult season, and that's normal for August. This is not anything unusual. So we know where we live, but then the plants, I think some of these plants wish they didn't live here, and some of them are just giving up the ghost and not living here. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. So like I said, a lot of overgrowth, a lot of things growing, mostly weeds, looking really rough, very discouraging. But I do like to start over here with the GreenStalk Raised garden beds. And we planted this out a few months ago. We've got parsley up here. I'm not sure what this is. This no, that's not. This is a weed. Maybe it looks like clover, actually. That's kind of cool. I like clover. Anyway, so we got some strawberry plants. Now, if you saw the first part, you saw the strawberry plants up front are looking really rough. But looky here. We actually have flowers coming out of these strawberries. And this is a little different story because these strawberries are a little more protected. They don't get the weed pressure that the others do. And so hopefully this will do better. It's going to be kind of a backup source. I thought that I had some strawberries growing in another thing. It must have fallen out. Doggone it. Well, I thought I had some more strawberries growing in here. I was trying to take some runners and plant them in other places. Now it looks like I don't have any runners. Anyway, so the strawberries are looking really good. That basil back here, oh, this basil, Genovese basil, nothing short of tasty. Oh, yum. It is a little light in color, but it's still good. You'll know, we've talked about the other basil up front. It doesn't look like these are quite ready to start bolting. This protection we're under right now helps with that, I believe. We got some more parsley down there, more strawberries. Yeah, I've got to get some runners fixed up here. What is this? Is that a runner? That's a, oh, looky there. That's a straw. Where did this strawberry runner come from? I do not know. There's 4 plants right there. I need to do something with those. Okay, so I started with the one here with the longest strand between plants. I put up here, here, and here. So we'll see if any of those take. I don't know if they're going to take or not. We'll just have to see. There's another one around here that I just saw. Here it is. Oh, this has got 2 on it also. So I'm just sticking these in dirt is all I am doing. And trying to get it to take anywhere. I wouldn't mind this thing being full of strawberries. What happens once these things have kind of taken hold, they'll start growing roots down in there, and then we can, oh, I can't get it. I can't get 2 of them, doggone it. Well, I'm gonna have to do that with when I have 2 hands available again. But anyway, so yeah, basil, some other, there's I saw some dill here just a minute ago. Yeah, there's some little bit of dill right there. Doesn't look very good. Used to have some dill down low. I really haven't taken good care of this. And you can see, I mean, the weeds are even overgrowing this thing. So it's been an overwhelming month. So here in bed number 1, we had Kajari melons growing here. We never got anything planted over on that other side, which is a little frustrating. We grew all the Kajari melons that turned out to be cross-pollinated melon seeds, and it was a disaster. This little one right here is the one I know that is a real Kajari melon because I pulled it out of the original Kajari seed package. So I know that is a Kajari melon. I want to see if we can get something before the season's over. We'll have to see. But anyway, so yeah, the ginger's going good, but you can see, look at the weeds growing back here, and it's kind of stressing them out. I need to come in here and pull all these, especially these here that have seed pods. Like this one, you see the seeds right there getting ready to pop out and make new plants. Got to get those things out of here. And that's a problem. This is just, with me being gone so much, this has just been a real challenge trying to keep up because I just hadn't had time this season. So, but the ginger is still going good, going strong. There's new growth down in here. I mean, look at this thing here. This is a brand new shoot since last month. That's a brand new shoot since last month. So it's growing the ginger underneath here. See, there's the ginger. And it grows little nodules along the way here. And we'll have some good ginger this year. But so cucumbers, they are the EMERSON cucumbers right here. My grandson planted these seeds. He helped me one day, and we got new the old cucumbers were spent. In fact, we'll get over here to the other side. In fact, this arch trellis right here goes to the end of bed 1, and you can see all this dead stuff is the spent cucumbers. And I want to get some more cucumbers planted over here. We'll just have to see if I can. We've got some cucumbers planted elsewhere also. But anyway, so yeah, these are starting to take off. If you just saw the instant update I released a few days ago, there are still no buds on here. So still no progress yet. Okay. Yeah. You know, we just have to wait. I'm a little impatient because it's getting late in the season, coming down to the middle of August. Today is August 20th. So yeah, this jungle down in the end here, well, that's blackberries. These are all blackberries just hanging all over the place. And I'm going to have to, I mean, look at this thing. This thing goes up over there and stretches out. This thing is probably 20 feet from the roots. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy. I do need to get these hung up somewhere, and I think I might try to follow along this piece right here on my garden trellis here. So we'll have to see. But yeah, a lot of blackberry in here, just kind of infusing its way through everything. In fact, if I go this way, go on, ooh, there's a massive spider web right here. Can you see that? It's got orange on it. I don't know what that is. It doesn't look like a black widow, but it's something. I ran him away from his middle of his web, but it's beautiful. I hope you can see that on the camera. But what I was wanting to show you is how the blackberries are actually going into the okra jungle. Like right here, this is coming across the okra jungle. Its roots are actually about 5 or 6 feet away from the camera, but you can see it goes through those okra plants elsewhere. So yeah, it's a lot of blackberry vines. So hopefully we'll have some blackberries this year, or next year I should say. But the okra, oh my goodness, did you see the video I did on harvesting okra? These things producing about a half a pound a day. So almost 50 plants growing in here. It is truly a jungle. Let me get the camera down inside here and you can see somehow. This is looking the length of the okra jungle. And yeah, you can see there's a lot of growth going on in there. A lot of big plants, little plants. It is literally a jungle. And currently they are approaching 7 feet tall. Last year they got 17 feet tall. So they were a bunch of feet above that. So, but I do need to keep on top of harvesting them. You can see this right here. This is like perfect size for the hill country red okra. I see one back there that's getting a little chunky, but there's 2 right here that are perfect size. I can't remember. I think it's been 2 days since I've harvested, so I'll get another pound here after we're done. But the okra is looking beautiful. It loves the heat. You'll notice there's no shade cloth above this. It just loves this environment. I mean, absolutely loves. I am trying to keep these tucked in to the trellis this year to help keep them growing straight up. They got away from me a little bit last year because I wasn't keeping an eye on it. But anyway, so yeah, that's the okra jungle. Massive okra jungle. Down here we got a magnolia. I keep saying magnolia. A marigold, which is not flowering, I'm presuming, because it's overshadowed by all the okra. But you can see over here, look here, the blackberries. They've gone through the okra, underneath the marigold, and out the other side here. So they are finding their way, and I'm gonna have to come up with a plan here, because this is just a little overwhelming. The peach tree is shooting up again, doing its thing. Same thing it did last year, except it's doing more of them this year. And I have to trim those back. Turmeric is looking about the same. It doesn't get watered very much, so I have to figure out how to get this some water. I think I said that last time, didn't I? You can tell I haven't really mowed much, which is kind of sad. Here is where in bed number 2 that I have planted some new cucumber plants already. New cucumber seeds. Let's see if anything's growing. Oh, look at there. There's 2 down in there. There's 1. Oh my goodness, there's 3 over here. In other words, we have way too many for this trellis. That's awesome. That's great, because we're going to have a whole bunch more cucumbers here. Those things will be taking off. That is excellent, excellent news. Here in bed number 2. Oh, that makes me feel better. Now, let me just talk about the beans real quick. The bean wall. And I really like my bean wall. It's the 2nd year I've done it. I'm going to do it again. I'll keep doing it, but you'll notice it's really alive on the front and on the back where the shade cloths are. And where it's getting the advantage of the shade cloth, it's fine. In the middle, it is just getting burned up by the sun. And I actually have a shade cloth to put across the middle. I just haven't done it. And so I need to get out here and get these things shade clothed. But it's not going to happen. One of the big problems is that top panel up there. I really was wanting to hang it underneath here so that the shade cloth could sit above that panel. And if you looked at the first part of this garden tour, You would have seen that in the tier gardens, I've got shade cloth right on the cattle panel trellis, and the beans are just pushing it away, and I don't want it to have to work at that. So anyway, if I get the shade cloth up, I get it up. I doubt I'm going to, though. We've got another trip coming up here in a week and a half. So the peppers on the front end down here, we have some Peppadew, 2 Peppadews here, and they are producing. This is what it is. It's not supposed to be a very spicy pepper, though somehow mine are. So these are turning out with a good amount of spice. This is another Marigold, looking strong, still not producing flowers. This is a basil plant. I told you I had a lot of basil around here. That shadow was I can't tell if it was an osprey or not. But anyway, but you can see here, this thing is about to start with the flowering tips, which makes sense. Oh, in fact, here's some right here. Go look at the first part for some videos on how to trim your basil plants to keep the flowering down and the flavor up. So anyway, I just always, whenever I'm walking by these basil plants, I always just pick a few and just mosey on. Just take a minute to go like that and keep them clear. So we have Thai Hot, we have Dragon Cayenne, we have Thai Hot, we have Dragon Cayenne, and these things are just producing. I have picked so many off of these already. It's just going nuts. The funny thing is, you cannot tell a Dragon Cayenne until it turns red. They all stick up, but when the Dragon Cayenne turns red, they hang down like this. When the Thai Hot turns red, they stick up in the air, like you can see back here. So that's the Thai Hot. This is Dragon Cayenne. Kind of funny, if you ask me. More Peppadew down here. This one's really producing. This one's been a little eaten by a bird. It looks like maybe something, but really good pepper. I'm about to be able to pick a whole bunch of those. So the tomato plants. Yeah, and notice, let me just look back at the beans again. You see how it's kind of wore out in the middle, and then it gets green down this end. So I like these shade cloths. I like what they do. Well, the camera died again. Had to go in and cool it off for a while. But yeah, shade cloths are doing great, except it's not enough for these tomatoes. You'll notice these buds are falling off. Actually, I already recorded this when I thought it was recording, and it didn't because it overheated the camera and shut it down before I moved this, and a couple of the buds fell off of this little piece here. These are beans right here wrapping themselves around. That's something I try to discourage, but I'm not sure who's going to produce this year, so I haven't really been tending to that. But yeah, these are Supersweet 100s on this side. Around the back, we still have Everglades. In fact, you can see some of the little Everglades tomatoes back there. They're little tiny tomatoes. That's a basil growing right there at an angle, trying to get itself some sun. And because it doesn't have any sun, it hasn't bolted yet. So not really worried about that basil. But yeah, that's the end of bed number 2. We'll do the rest of the tomatoes at the end of bed number 3, because this is an arch trellis, and I'm tripping over my irrigation. This is the arch trellis, goes over to bed number 3 over here. So we'll get to that in just a minute. The aloe is just sitting there looking pretty, doing nothing, doing what it does in the hot summer. Bed number 3, the pepper bed. This is Scotch bonnet. I have harvested so many peppers this year. I am just thrilled to death. Scotch bonnet. I started harvesting some of these Tabasco. In fact, that little snippet of video I showed you at the beginning, there were some Tabascos in it. But look at, and after this video, I'm going to have to come out here and harvest a jillion, and look, it just keeps going and going and going and going. Now these Tabascos, you typically pick them when they're green like this, but yes, you can see here, they do turn red. You leave them on there long enough, they'll turn red. I got a bright red one down here. You know, there's another orangish one right there. Where's the camera? Oh, good Lord. There he is. Okay. It's hard to see the display in the direct sun, which I'm trying not to get in because the camera's overheating. It'll just make for it. Look, I mean, look at all these red ones. Here's a bright red one right here. Look at that. That's what Tabasco peppers will do if you leave them on the plant. But these are plenty hot. Those green ones like there, they're all big and swollen up and everything. These are fat and happy Tabasco peppers. Ready to go. There's a jalapeno plant under here. It's actually producing some jalapenos. Wait for one to turn red. Oh, looky there. I got a red jalapeno. This plant's almost ready to harvest. I'll wait for another one. Oh, that one looked like it turned red too before it got eaten by something. Yeah, that's one Tabasco plant, that whole thing. It's huge. Come out here where you can see it better. It's enormous. It's 4 foot tall, maybe 6 feet wide, 5 feet wide. That's amazing. Scotch bonnets, there's actually 2 or 3 Scotch bonnet plants along under here. I think it's 3 of them here. Oh my, look at this big one. I'd not seen one that big before. That's easily the biggest Scotch bonnet I've grown. Easily. That's beautiful. Scotch bonnet. This is supposed to be a some kind of bell. I think it was a Chinese giant bell. It's kind of buried down there in the midst of everything, so it hadn't done very well. Fatali peppers. These are hot ones. You saw me eating one of those with my son in that eating hot peppers video. There's some golden cross over there, those yellow cayenne looking ones over there. I think they compare in heat to a cayenne as well. Fatali, tons of Fatali. That big thing growing right there, that is a peri-peri, and there's actually a peri-peri pepper right there. Almost ready to harvest. I've got down here, we have 2, let me tilt the camera and get inside here. We have 2 habaneros. Ooh, those are ready. Those are ready to go. Look at that. Beautiful peppers, and a third one behind it. So yeah, that's beautiful. There's another branch for that habanero going up there. It's not growing anything yet, but I'm gonna have to watch because there's habanero up in here, and that's another Fatali. This here is a big Fatali right here, which is in the shade a bit, but I do expect it to produce. I've already harvested some off of it. This is the Fatali that we had buried like a foot deep up the stem to see if it would grow adventitious roots, and it did not. After 60 days, was it? It was a while, a couple months. But all those branches you see down there are branches that started to develop underneath the ground. It was not developing roots, it was developing branches. And those branches have just gone nuts, crazy nuts. So my little mammoth, and I'm gonna grow these again, more of these next year. This is a Mammoth Jalapeno, big old jalapeno. I want to develop more of these jalapenos because they're great size. Waiting for them to start turning red, one of those to start turning red before I harvest. I think something's been eaten off of here. But that's the pepper bed. Very excited about the pepper bed. It's looking strong. Strong. We are about to convert this over here. I'm going to plant some more zucchini right here, see if I can get a little bit of zucchini before the season's over. We have, let's see, this is August, September, October, November, December, November. We have 90 to 100 days before our first frost. So I'm being optimistic here. Back to the other half of the tomato beds. You can see here, these were Principe Borghese cherry tomatoes, and they are just spent. However, there is new growth coming out the top. I just need to pull these out, make room for the zucchini. There's some, these are supposed to be Nebraska Wedding. They say supposed to be. I'm looking for buds. I don't see any buds at all. Was that a bud? That seems a little misshapen to be a bud. Oh, huh. Yeah, that's it. I don't know what that is. Oh, here's some buds on a Nebraska Wedding. It looks like they're just falling off in the heat, which is no surprise. Here, let's see if some of these fall off. Well, those look somewhat strong. Staying on. I don't think these are good though. Yeah, I see buds here and there, but I'm not seeing any producing anything yet. So yeah, that's a problem. Over there on that this trellis right here, the arch trellis, that's all Supersweet 100s growing up that. Oh, looky, I made myself a liar. Oh my goodness. We have a Nebraska Wedding tomato right here. You probably saw that before me, didn't you? Looky there. Okay, that's really good news. I mean, that is incredible news. Oh my goodness. My first tomato in a month or two. That's a beauty. These are not a very big tomato. They're kind of orangish yellow when they're ripe, and I'm gonna get an organza bag on that. But oh, that's another one developing right there too. They're more like a Roma. They're not super juicy. They are delish though. They are so tasty. We love Nebraska Wedding. We had two off of this far plant over here to the left, and Mrs. Bowtie and I sat down and made a very formal event out of eating those two, just sitting down, slicing them and eating them and enjoy. They're so tasty. Nebraska Wedding. Oh my goodness. They're supposed to be somewhat heat tolerant too, and obviously not this heat tolerant. Maybe I need to get 70% heat cloth, sun cloth, shade cloth. That's what it's called. I'm walking along here. This is some of the Supersweet 100 sticking out, and I see it's got buds on it right here. I may need to come in here and take care of this. Those seem to be sticking. Okay, well, anyway, that's the tomato beds at the end of bed number 3. Finally, we come down to the Goji berries at the end of bed 3, and I cut out a tree down here that was kind of, I thought maybe choking it out, but I don't think it was choking because this thing kind of goes dormant when it's hot like this. So, I'm not too worried about it. It did this last year. I should probably cut back some of the dead branches. I think that's what I did last year, and it did pretty good. But I got to get that. This is that tree coming back out in force. Oh, yeah. Let me see where I cut it off in several places. I don't want that thing growing back. That is not goji berry. There we go. Clean that off. I'll cut that further to the ground. Make it look better. So here I am sitting in almost the same place I started the video from, except the camera's pointing into bed number 3 now, where we just ended the tomatoes. My neighbor's over here cutting grass, so we'll have a bit of a wrap up here. I hope the little map in the corner of the screen helped give you a perspective of where we are in the garden. I don't know, comment, let me know if you like that or not. I'm curious. I've done that kind of stuff before for other projects, and thought it might be helpful here. So anyway, trying not to say too much as far as taking up time. It's been a hot month. You can see it in the garden. There's weeds everywhere, and we haven't been able to get out here and pull as many as we want to. I really need to pull this grass out of here that's got little seed things on the end, because those are definitely not welcome in the garden. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to find some time to get out here and do it. Fortunately, I'm gonna have a day or so to take care of stuff like that. Checking these flowers. Maybe eventually we'll start getting flowers sticking to these tomato plants. It's a little discouraging when you don't get your tomatoes in early enough, and I know I should be planting more tomatoes now. Last year I left 1 or 2 tomatoes at this time, and they actually produced great through the fall, so I don't know if they'll do that again. It's 90 something degrees out here. The heat index is 105, I think. Humidity is actually kind of nice today. It's only about 50% humidity today, so 50 or 60%, so that's very, very low for us. Feels very good. But anyway, my brain's a little over-fried, I think. Whew, that sun. Yeah, we're still under a shade cloth, but it's not enough. I think I need to get thicker shade cloth for some of these areas, particularly the tomatoes. But anyway, if you're coming back and visiting us, we appreciate you watching the videos. Every watch helps. Even more important, every subscription helps. So if you've already subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. There's just a button down there that says subscribe. You click that and you're subscribed. And so we're trying to build our subscribership right now so we can get to a certain milestone with YouTube. But anyway, if you thought this was informational, educational, inspirational, or just entertaining, watching me sweat in the garden, pulling weeds, not making a bit of a dent, please click the thumbs up and share with your friends on social media. Share with friends who might need some encouragement in their overgrown garden. Really, that's about it. I don't have anything else to say because it's all fried out of me. It's hot out here, so y'all have a blessed day.